The taking of RFAT 123 coming soon. What the fuck is going on, everybody? Welcome to Requiem for a Tuesday, episode 123. How the hell are you? It's your boy Adam Pecora here. Hopefully we get to 4, 5, 6. We can do that by you rating, reviewing, subscribing to this very podcast. Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, you name it. I can list them all every week if you need me to, because it ain't working. Let's get those reviews up, those ratings up. Let me ride this algorithm, Daddy. I want to ride you dry. Ride or die. Whatever. You can check out the merch at rfat.bigcartel.com. Yes, that's right. That's rfat.bigcartel.com. You can follow me on Instagram at adam.rfat. Look at all these RFATs, baby. Let's get it in the lexicon. You know what I'm saying? Justice's stuff available everywhere as well. The music is streaming everywhere. Everything's everywhere all at once. Isn't it funny how that works out? All linked in the description below for your convenience. As always has been, always will be. So go look into that. Lots of stuff for you. All right. You know, another week has passed, and some things don't age very well, very quickly. I feel very confident as of right now that last week's episode has aged tremendously, because there's a man named Justin, and he has stolen my heart. I have like butterflies in my stomach. I feel like a schoolgirl. Somehow this kid's 23, but I view him as a man, and I view myself as a boy. And this boy's got a crush. I'm not going to reiterate the whole thing again and do another fucking 40 minutes on this guy, but just the explosiveness, the ability to make anything happen at any moment. It's things you hear about. It's things you read about that other people get to experience and love. And like, sure, I watch Josh Allen. Sure, I watch Patrick Mahomes. And I just think, man, there's just nobody could ever have anything like that but the people that have it. And we might have it. Now, you know, we're a long ways away from those two guys. Took Josh Allen multiple years, so, you know, I get it. Everybody wants to have a counter argument to everything, just like me. But if you're watching these last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even 4 weeks, and you're like, yeah, but, there's no buts. There's no buts, because the beginning of the season, all we heard, worst roster in the NFL, might, you know, only win a game or two. And what, all of a sudden the supporting cast is great? And he's not doing enough to win us games? Like, get the fuck out of here. All of that is nonsense. No, the passing numbers still aren't there. So we have more things now. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, why you gotta rain on my parade? You know? I've never had a parade. It's my first parade. And you're gonna ruin it? I don't think so. I won't have it. I don't want to hear it. All I can think about is how amazing next season's going to be. Because we're just seeing the flashes. We're laying the groundwork. For a team that's supposed to have the worst roster in the NFL, you shouldn't be able to play this well. If you can play this well with a roster that's this bad, you must be pretty fucking good. Right? Come on now. And it's also like, oh, he shouldn't run so much. He's taken so many hits. It's like, have you watched him stand in the pocket? Because he looks like he's going to lose his head most of the time when he does that. So I'll take a little bump on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, it's the NFL. Everybody can get tackled. So if he's just getting tackled, it's better than him standing still and getting leveled by a dude running full speed at his throat. So, even in press conferences, he's like, yeah, I try not to get hit. Like, I avoid that shit. It's like he's just running. You know, you don't hear anything about Mahomes. Oh, he runs around too much because it's behind the line of scrimmage, so that means it's okay for him to run even if he's getting hit. It just doesn't make any sense. I get it. People need things to talk about. I just want to talk about the one-man highlight reel. The love of my life, Justin Fields. So, another week in the books. Dude's going to have 1,000 yards rushing as a quarterback. He's 6th in the NFL in rushing right now. Overall, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Now, will he get to 2,000 passing yards? Remains to be seen. But I'm all right with it, okay? Just drop something. Not going to edit it out. OG, baby. Keep it to my roots. Anyway, you know, it's like Byron Pringle's never really gotten to play. N'Keal Harry's still, like, new to the team. Chase Claypool's new to the team. I mean, two of those guys may not be on the team next year. Who knows? They may not work out. Even if they are on the team next year. All of that's fine, but I'm just saying, even the team as is isn't fully together yet because we've been making moves the whole time. So, long way to go before we can try to act like, oh, he should be doing even more. I don't think you could be doing any more. So yeah, shout out to Justin Fields. Blossoming before our eyes beyond our wildest dreams. Anything and everything we could have ever hoped for since draft night. Tune in next week to watch me get sloppy wet all over this mic all over again because this boy's going to light it up. All right. So, a few months back, went through a major Tom Cruise phase, fans of the show may remember. Namely, a little film called The Color of Money. Masterpiece. I love it. Upon discovering it was filmed on location, mainly in Chicago, your boy got giddy. And finally went to one Chris's Billiards, Jefferson Park in Chicago. And really, I just want to take a moment to say shout out. Seedy, old school, seems like you should be allowed to smoke cigarettes in there. You're technically not, but I feel like we could have gotten away with it. BYOB, garbage everywhere. Just a wonderful place. I absolutely loved it, and I will return. And always nice, little movie history for everybody. You know, you're like, oh, that was in the movie. And it's like everybody else is like, yeah, well, this is just here all the time. It was here before, and it's still here. But just wanted to use the opportunity to say, if you haven't seen it, go see it. And if you have or haven't seen it, and you haven't listened to the episode, either way, go listen to the Color of Money episode. Please. Please listen to all my episodes, guys. Guys. Mom, nobody's listening to my podcast. She wouldn't know what that meant. But anyway. Don't have a ton for everybody today. If it wasn't abundantly clear by me trying to plug an episode from I don't even know when, and I didn't even bother to look. We're going to do some more headline surfing today. It's been a minute. Let's get these events current, baby. And if there's room at the end, maybe we'll do a little sports corner. We'll see. Gonna keep it loose? Like your mama. All right. Here we go. Okay. First headline right at the top. I don't think we're gonna make it. Democrats' hopes for House majority dim. This is not particularly what I'm going to be talking about, but there are so many articles that are just like, it's hell on earth. The Republicans are winning. And then you'll see somebody share that article, and they'll be like, prayers for Texas, like prayers for Oklahoma, like because the people they voted for won. You know, it's weird how, like, rightfully so, Fox News has been labeled as, like, right-wing propaganda. And at this point, everybody's aware that CNN is too, I suppose. But regardless, my point is CNN for Democrats. But you know what I mean. It's just so weird that if you're just on an opposing side of the other, you just keep labeling everything from the opposite side as propaganda for them, but everybody's just doing it to each other. Like, nobody's self-aware is my point, right? All you hear from the right side is how it's all left-wing propaganda and vice versa. But both sides are correct, and both sides are stupid to the point where they don't realize that they're also just viewing propaganda. Because it's like, I get what you're saying. Like, what you would want to vote for is not being executed in some state you don't live in and you have no idea what it's like to be in that place. My point is, whether you agree or disagree, the majority voted for who won, and that's how voting works. And so it's not like a catastrophe or a tragedy. Like, it's your personal issue either way, and no matter what, it will not affect you in either way. And so if it's this weird, like, fake claiming of empathy or whatever, that's fine. But my point is just that it's silly. You know? They had the option to do the other thing, and they didn't. Or the people that didn't show up. But I just don't understand why it's like, oh, well, if it didn't go what just I think, then something fishy. Like, you know what I mean? It's wrong and weird. And just like, why are we like, I don't know. I just feel like not enough people watch sports. Because sometimes your team wins and sometimes your team loses, and you just got to soak it in and deal with it. Not whine and cry. You know? There's a time and a place for that, and it's not in wins and losses. Okay? You win, you thank your opponent, you move on. You lose, you thank your opponent, you move on. You can't undo what's done. Okay. Does that make sense? I don't fucking know. All right. This isn't a specific headline necessarily, but let's just get into the Elon Musk thing. Because I'm a little confused here. The whole, like, fuck this guy thing is really weird to me, because it's just like companies are leaving. They're like, we're leaving Twitter. And that's supposed to be some kind of statement. Like, here, Balenciaga leaves Twitter. Is that an asset for anybody? Like, what were they posting on there that was so great that anybody needs it? Number one. Two, the whole, like, I'm going to just try a subscription model thing. And it failed. And they're like, this guy's a clown. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, he clearly knows what he's doing. I think he's done pretty well for himself so far. And he also was pretty clear that he's going to try stuff and it might not work, because that's how things go. And the backlash of all these rich people, you should pay me. It's like, under what logic? It's like, you're doing it under your own volition anyway. That's the whole outrage. It's like everybody loves it and doesn't want to leave it, and so they're just like, somebody else owns this. Why are you so passionate about this website? I just don't understand it. You know? Like, look, the Elon Musk 3-point plan for ruining a business is a headline on USA Today. Oh, you mean like PayPal and Tesla? Like, yeah, the guy's a real failure consistently. And it's just like, if this doesn't work, that would be wild. But he'll just shut it down. and then you're all fucked. You know? And I guess that's probably what everybody's really afraid of, is that he's just going to close this motherfucker because he can eat 50 bill and it won't matter, which is crazy. But, like, it's just weird to think, like, oh, I'm tweeting on Twitter about how Twitter sucks. It's like, well, just don't. I don't know. Some things people just don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, and this is something where I'm very confused. I'm excited to see what happens. It's like, a change is cool. How about let's try to do something. Bring back Vine. Do whatever. Close it down. I don't give a fuck. All right. Tomorrow, the world's 8th billionth person will be born. Is that too many or too few? I mean, what kind of stupid fucking question is that? It's got to be either, right? We either need way more or way less. It's like, shut the fuck up. That's all I got. Silly. Just silly. Jay Leno hospitalized with burns following gasoline fire injury. Now that's something I'm interested in. Jay Leno's on the mend after suffering from burns sustained from a car fire. I got some serious burns from a gasoline fire, Leno told Variety. I'm okay. Just need a week or two to get back on my feet. God, he's just so, like, swollen. Like, Jay Leno's looked exactly the same in every way for 40 years. He just keeps expanding outward. He just keeps getting puffier and puffier. Now, I don't know. Is that one of those things where it's like, oh, he's hitting the booze? Or is that just like some people just gain weight gracefully, I guess is a way to put it. Because I wouldn't say that, like, oh, he's gotten fat. Well, he's definitely gained weight, but it's like he's just, like, puffed up. I guess as a guy who's been a round little boy his whole life, I just can't imagine looking any other way. But, I mean, there's still some old photos where it's like, damn, I used to look like that. But I don't feel like I've just, like, puffed up. It's just, like, scaled. Well, I guess that is... No, that's not the same thing. I've scaled as I've grown. But that's it. I'm sure I could puff up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Lizzo can't puff up. Sorry. I know we're not allowed to talk about her, but she's the next one on the article list. Chelsea Handler returns to Netflix with a new stand-up special. Great. So it's a TED Talk? Because there's not going to be a lot of laughter. Ha ha, got her. Zinger. Kill that bitch. No, I'm kidding. Oh, that's sad. Somebody I've never heard of as ALS. Not great. Sorry, lady. It's a real low energy one tonight, folks. Sorry. There's no news? Every day, there's 2 billion articles where I have something to say. All of a sudden, scrolling through this and I have nothing. Oh, boy. Ooh. Travis Scott is producing a DJ Screw biopic for Columbia Pictures. That could easily be very bad. And probably will be. All right. Yeah, there's fucking nothing on here. This is terrible. See, like, what is this? Here's another USA Today headline. With Elon Musk ruining Twitter, it's time to get back to hollering on street corners. It's like, what? Facebook is still an option, tragically, but it lacks the sticking your face in a fan repeatedly each time expecting a repeal of Twitter. I mean, This article is a sign of USA Today's problems because it's just an article complaining about how this guy doesn't like changes to Twitter. I mean, is this like, I think this is like supposed to be a joke. It is, but it's just like, first of all, why is a news website posting jokes? And like, there's so much that went into this. This is really, really long. And again, it's just like, you're upset because you can't complain the way you want to. I don't know. Again, it's just something I really don't understand. All right. I will say, so there's been some reports coming out today of one Gisele Bündchen. Okay? And I don't like them. I don't like what's being reported. I think the narrative should flip here. You know, the whole hullabaloo, it's hullabaloo, but was, oh, Tom Brady. If he just wouldn't have retired, or he just would have stayed retired, wouldn't have unretired is what I meant. Too many double negatives here. He could have saved it. Could have saved the marriage. Right? Which makes no sense. It's like, after all this, after all these years, all the back and forths, what would probably be his last one, if not one more maybe, which is a long time, sure. But this is the one. This was the ultimatum. Like, there's no way it was, you unretire, we're going to get divorced. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. And maybe he was like, if you stop fucking your jujitsu instructor, I'll stay retired. And maybe she said, oh, well, no. You don't make demands here. But that's the report. Report is Gisele Bündchen on vacation with her jiu-jitsu instructor. Took about a month. You know, naturally, you care so much about your family and your children, and you want everybody to think, just a little soon, don't you think? Even if that's what's going on, maybe keep that under wraps for a little bit. Can we get to 2023? Would, like, at least? Can you seem like maybe the relationship didn't start the second you filed the papers at best? Even though it was likely blossoming for some time. And look, if I'm a jiu-jitsu instructor and I'm teaching Gisele Bündchen and she says, let's go to the Caribbean, baby, you better believe I'm doing it. You know, even with my deep, profound love for Tom Brady and the respect I have for that man, to be like, I'm on Brady level type shit, you got to do it. You know, you got to do it. Especially, that's a single woman. That's a legally single woman. I understand. But, you know, I just think there was enough comments, enough roasting, perhaps, enough memes trying to tear down this wonderful, legendary man who has brought us nothing but magical moments for 20 plus years. And he's shot down like a deer in the woods. Oh, but she's having a good old time and nobody's fucking making a peep? I don't think so. I'm the one who's going to say something. Gisele, when you hear this, why'd you have to do Tom dirty like that? Why? So, you know, hopefully we'll have a response in 24 to 48 hours. I know she's a big listener. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of it. And, you know, maybe I'll be in some dumb article that was poorly written by somebody who's unqualified. I guess that's just what makes me mad about these articles is that a lot of them are written with such pompous confidence, and they're either poorly written or just inappropriate for whichever website or newspaper that is writing it. And so it's just immediately steeped in so much irony that it's like, why are you pretentious or like trying to call out things about anything? It's like, y'all are supposed to be the news, just anything about it. It's like, even when it's labeled as an opinion, it's like, you think because somebody pays you to write about shit that the things you have to say are interesting or even of any quality, let alone merit. And it's like, this shit is just poorly written and it's clickbait. It's just clickbait. Like, but if you're a major publication, you shouldn't be writing clickbait, and it's just fucking embarrassing. So, fuck you, USA Today and whoever the fuck. New York Times has a lot of dumb shit coming out. And I see a lot of like rehashing and shit too. I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, but it's like, it just reminds me of like when the Michael Jackson documentary came out, the recent one, and people are like, oh, well, I'm not listening to Michael anymore. I've made this point multiple times, but it's like, oh, you just heard about this? 37-year-old man? Like, no. You knew. Everybody knew. It's like, oh, just because you saw the doc, now it's real? Like, that doesn't make something real or not real, and either way, we knew. We all knew. Like, I knew about that shit when I was 6 years old, that he was coming from my little butthole, okay? Like, we can't try to act like this. And there'll be some article. There's articles that are like, here's some new, didn't know your iPhone could do this. And then you read the article and it's like, y'all just pulled this from like they announced this in the Apple event before the phone even came out. And this shit's 2 years old. Like, we all knew this. Who didn't know this? And it's like, oh, you guys just published this right now because, like, maybe somebody will read it and think it's interesting. And it's just like, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. All right, what else we got? Nick Cannon's having yet another kid. And he says he pays, quote, a lot more, unquote, than $3 million a year in child support. I thought that was going to say a month as I was reading it. Of course he pays more than $3 million a year. He's a rich guy with a dozen kids. He's paying, I mean, let's do this math. If it's $100,000 per kid per month, that's rich guy numbers, right? So times 12, that's 1.2 milli times 12. Okay, it's probably not that high. That's $14 million a year. So let's tone it down even more. Let's get a little more conservative. I suppose that math was technically easy, but hey, I'm trying to talk and do it at the same time here. Give me a break. Fucking assholes. Bunch of math Nazis out there. Those are just called Nazis. Anyway. Every kid, $25,000 a month per kid. We'll cut it in quarters. I guess I could just divide that number by 14, but I already cleared it, okay? God. Anyway. Times 12, that's $300,000 a month. Times 12, that's $3.6 million a year. So that means if he pays a lot more than $3 million a year, it's more than $25,000 a month per child. Didn't even have to open the article. All right? See the power in numbers, kids? Really does apply in real life. What else we got? Anything else? Is Method Man married? Like, that's not an article. That's a Google search. I can Google search it and get the answer. I don't need to click your article. Shit like that. See, that's another example. That's so annoying. Post Malone thanks Sway Lee after Sunflower goes 17 times platinum. Let me tell you this, had nothing to do with Sway Lee. He's a hack. His music is horrible. It's horrible. He's the worst part of that song and every other song he's ever been a part of. Damn, I got fired up right at the end right here. That sucks. I should have brought that energy the whole episode. But you know what? I'll bring it next week, and you'll tune in, and you'll love it. Hope you like this one. Rate, review, subscribe. The merch is on rfat.bigcartel.com. Everything is linked in the description below for your enjoyment. I don't know why I turned into like Billy Eichner in the middle of that. Sorry for being annoying. Anyway, this has been another Requiem for a Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe we'll have some real topics next week. I don't know. Thanks for listening. And remember, I are fat. You are fat. We are fat. Calculator.